What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Holy Huddle. I am your guest or your host, not your guest, your host, Lloyd Phillips. We got our boy back with us, Rico, and Chris back here with another episode. Last week, sorry we couldn't be on, but we had a great interview with Derek Gaskill, who will be releasing that this week. So please make sure you go out and look out for that. We'll be releasing that either Tuesday or Wednesday. Great interview. Some great stuff, man. Learned a lot of good things from him, and I think you guys will be really blessed to hop on that episode and listen to that and share that with friends and family because he has some great things to say, really for all walks of life, not just coaching in sports, but for all walks of life. So it's really kind of motivational. So make sure you guys go check that out. How you guys doing today, man? How you doing today, Rico?
Not too bad, man. Blessed, man. Let's ready to talk about some sports and the faith.
Hey, man. How about yourself, Chris?
I mean, just enjoying this beautiful day. I'm so glad that spring's finally here. No more snow, no more winter. I've been outside all day long. I just love it.
Hey, man, it's crazy if you were in the me and Chris are in the Winchester area. So there's a lot of crazy things going on. We got Apple Blossom, which is a big celebration around here. But what was crazy was last Wednesday. So like last Sunday it was nice and hot, and by Wednesday, I believe it was snowing. We probably got like 3 inches of snow just out of nowhere. So been crazy, but today is 82 degrees. Been lovely. I had the chance to be out in the sun. Got a little darker yesterday, unfortunately, at our track meet. We had some good things go on down there. So got our boys. They got qualified for the 4x1 state final. So was excited about that. And now I'm all in, ready to get them. Hopefully finally get that ring. But so yeah, it's been good weather, man. Crazy thing is baseball starting up. We got basketball, which is going to be some of the topic today. I'm a big Kevin Durant fan, big Kyrie Irving fan. I know Chris is a big Kyrie Irving fan, and they are down 3-0. I got some things I want to say, some things I want to get off my chest. I know Kevin Durant's not gonna hear this, but if he does hear this, I need some things to say to him. But Rico, I know you've been watching. What's been your thoughts, man, on that series and Kevin Durant's play?
Oh man, I mean, it's the energy not there from KD. Something I don't know what the distraction is from Kyrie, but it seems like something's just holding him back. He's not really getting it done either. But honestly, man, I think I think it's more so just shows what Jayson Tatum, and what's the other guy name, man?
Jaylen Brown.
He is taking advantage of every mismatch. He made Blake Griffin look like a clown. He put that man in the blender, Ninja Bullet specifically. he threw the spinach in there. He threw the oranges. He threw everything in the bag, threw it in there, put them in the blender, and rolled it right back. And then he let anybody else get some too if they want some. So, yeah, he was definitely getting it done. Jayson Tatum was getting it done, but he also was a very important piece of that because he was, like I said, he took advantage of every single mismatch. Blake Griffin came off and did a couple of things, and then he just was real quiet. But yeah, those two guys, man, I think it's even more so due to what those two guys are doing right now.
I agree with you, man. I think that those two, that they're showing that they are a great duo because everybody going through it was saying that Kyrie, KD is one of the best, dynamic scorers. And the thing that they've done, both of those guys, including Marcus Smart, who has played well, that team has played great team defense. It's a young core that's been there for a couple of years, and they got a new coach who has really inspired them to play defense, man. And their defense is good, and it's aggressive. It kind of is like a 90s style of defense, you know what I mean? Not to that extent, but they're not fouling a whole bunch, but they're getting physical with you, making the game rough, and they got length, man. Jaylen Brown's, he goes 6'8", and I think Jayson Tatum's 6'9", 6'8". I've never seen Kevin Durant's jump shot get blocked, and Jayson Tatum has done that about 4 or 5 times, taking the ball off him, stealing the entry passes. So those dudes, I mean, as of right now, if KD gets swept, in my eyes, Jayson Tatum just passed him, and he's no longer a top 5 player. because
that's big. That's a big statement.
He looks like a mismatch on the court. If you didn't know who Kevin Durant was and you didn't know who Jayson Tatum was, you would not think Kevin Durant is a top 5 player in the NBA right now. I've seen guys go at it. You know what I mean? We've seen Kobe and LeBron go. We've seen KD and LeBron go at it. We've seen Steph and LeBron go at it. And it's tap for tap. We've seen Westbrook. And, when it was Westbrook and KD versus Golden State, or Golden State versus the Cavs, our old series like, the Lakers versus the Bulls, or Jordan versus other teams, you've seen those duos go at it. If you get swept, that's like when the Bulls played the Jazz, like them games went, at least 6 games to get swept. Like you're not that good, man. And I don't know what's going on. And I'll talk about that a little bit more, but I'll pass it to you, Chris. Is there anything that you'd like to put in? I know you're a big Kyrie fan. What's your takes on him, man, not playing so well?
I mean, maybe we put Uncle Drew back on the back of his jersey. Maybe he'll start playing a little better. Man, I definitely, like what Rico said earlier, I think it's like distraction versus determination. Like the Celtics look very determined on a road, and you can tell the Nets are distracted by something. So I think that's kind of the moral of the series. One team's distracted, might have something else on their mind, and the other one's locked in and determined.
Yeah. Now the thing is, as funny as Kyrie said that the team isn't gelling yet. He said it's that team.
They better hurry up.
I'm not trying to hear none of that. You can't say you're not gelling. It's the first round of playoffs. You're down 3-0. Are you a competitor? You talking about gelling? The only thing you need to be, maybe add Jello to your halftime snack, but you shouldn't be talking about nothing with Jello right now. Gelling and Jello, none of that. Don't worry about none of that. Score the ball. 16 points from KD is trash. Trash. KD, you're in the third game. You're down 2-0. You're down 0-2. 16 points. Kyrie, how many points? Let's look at how many points Kyrie had.
I think he only had 15.
That's despicable. That's despicable. Jaylen Brown put in 23 and 5. Are you
Tatum
better?
Had 39, I think.
Come on, man. He had a career high. And career high in steals. He had 6 steals, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, dude went off. He controlled the game himself.
And the funny thing about Kyrie's statement is they're not gelling. It's not there yet. And, we don't have to get too deep into this, but he set out, and I agree with his stance to sit out. But that has some effect of why y'all may not be gelling at this point, because you only played about 10 games the whole year.
Yeah.
And then they also lost James Harden. You know what I mean? So when you make those decisions, like you said, you can't then go back and say, oh, well, we're not really gelling. As the fans, I wouldn't want to hear that. Like, y'all got to make it work.
You remember the 98 season, Scottie Pippen sat out over half the year, and Jordan don't make no excuses. They just went in and still won.
Great analogy, Chris. But that's the thing, though. We talking about, and that's my thing with KD. When you talk about the legends, man, and here's what I think is going on. Jayson Tatum right before our eyes, and it's still early, and I still think the Nets can come back. I have some hope in KD that, like, he's going to turn this around. He's going to figure it out. But I think, and this will be our next point, I think you ever been in a game and you played against somebody and you just had a bad game, and it's like, all right, I can come back from this. I just didn't shoot the ball well, I should have caught the ball, I dropped it or whatever the case may be, or, I didn't feel good. I just didn't have a game. But like the guy across from me, he not better than me. I'm not worried about that. But then you had those games where you walk into a building, you walk on the field, and that guy across from you punched you in your mouth. You came back, and he punched you in your mouth again, and you had nothing for him. And in your heart, I can't beat this guy. I'm not better than him. He's better than me. And I think that may be what KD's realizing right now is Jayson Tatum's better than me. I don't have no answer for him. And then on top of that, they got good defense. So do y'all think that? I mean, have y'all ever dealt with that personally as a a thing where like, man, you went up against some competition and you was like, man, they the real deal, whether it's a team or an individual matchup. How about you, Chris? What Rico thinks about it?
I mean, yeah, I've went against people that are way better than me. And it's a humbling feeling. I would say it motivated me to do more things. Like I never really enjoyed watching film or anything like that. But when you get against those people who you got to go find the little details to actually beat them, maybe you get a little more motivated to watch film or get back in the weight room or put in a couple more hours shooting shots or something like that. So I would say, I've taken my fair share of whoopings, and it just motivated me to get back up. Even though, I'm not a college athlete or anything like that. I knew my place and I knew my role. But yeah, it's definitely, it can be a very humbling experience.
How about you, Rico?
I would say, I don't know. That's a tough question. I would say though, the thing with KD right now is he's realizing this is a time where you underestimating. I think there's a lot of underestimating going on. You top 5 in the league. You probably thinking LeBron is on his way out.
Not to cut you off, man. I thought Kevin Durant was the best player in the world as of today.
Yeah,
him and Giannis.
Yeah. Giannis is different. KD, yeah, I love Giannis's heart. Giannis just got heart. It's just a different type of. He come from a different type of struggle. He not on no Americanized bull crap where he's no, man. He's on some different stuff. He's trying to get a ring by any means. But I say KD I think underestimating the first game for sure. And this is one of those where like you in a battle with somebody and like, oh, you underestimate him, or you're supposed to be on paper the better person. And this is one of those moments where the person that you're playing is better than you think, and then they're taking your lapse of judgment at full advantage, and they overcome that by that was your weakness by going into the battle thinking that they weren't what they are showing you they are now. That was your weakness. So I don't think necessarily Jayson Tatum is better than KD. I think it was a lapse of judgment in this series from the gate, and Jayson Tatum have built momentum along with Brown. What's his name? Yeah, Brown. Jaylen Brown. They've got the momentum, and momentum in pro sports is something that you cannot. It's something that you can't get around. Momentum is it's almost like a spirit of its own. It's like once it injects in the gameplay, it's like you playing Madden and somebody just hot. It's like, what's going on? I keep missing this shot. Why do I keep missing this shot? You know what I mean? That's what's going on. It's over with. It's over with. It's done.
I agree with you on that point because the momentum, when you got it going, that basketball hoop looks like an ocean.
Yeah.
As players, I never really played basketball at a high level, but when you got it going, they say the basket looks like an ocean, but when it's not, there's a lid on it, and that's what's going on. And then, like, I've watched KD. I never seen KD. He got handled as 7-foot dude. He could cross you up, go right by you, dunk on you. He can't even dribble the ball. They switch off and put, Tice or
losing the ball.
Al Horford on him, and he's dribbling the ball off his leg. And so that momentum, like we're saying, is once you get into your confidence starts to get shaken, which I think happened here. Now you start second guessing yourself. And Kevin Durant actually said that in his presser yesterday, said, I'm overthinking the game.
Yeah, that's what happens. He's like, why am I? He's like, what is going on? I know I'm better than this guy. I know my team is better than this team. What is going on? Now you're confused, but that's the missing component. You've already lost from the gate. Your mentality didn't go in the game right. I'm not saying read his, but I think the evidence is 3. Now you're down 0-3, so it's obviously showing something right now. So it's clear.
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, man, that when you get get that momentum in and it's not going your way, it's tough. But I don't know that I could agree with that he took them for granted, but maybe they have, because I think I'll agree with you on this. Is they said they don't need a coach. It's kind of lackadaisical over in the Nets organization. I think those two feel like, hey, we're gonna win it. We're gonna show up to the playoffs and win. Period. And that's kind of my thinking, on how they would do. That's why I picked them, because Boston is the number 2 seed, and the Nets they barely got in there. But maybe that is the case of where preparation, as we talked about gelling, preparation is important. You got a young, hungry team that's prepared, that's well coached, that knows what they're doing, that's got a game plan and paying attention to game planning. You could beat a team with all that talent. But I will say this is what I do like about Kevin Durant is he hasn't came to the presser and made excuses.
I love it. Yeah.
He sat there and he accepted it as a man. I'm not playing well, blah, blah, blah. I'm overthinking. And I like that, because in today's society, we have a lot of guys who want to blame it on I'm tired, or the teammates, and well, we didn't, we. No, we don't come to, we don't, I'm not going to the next game to see we. I came to see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? I came to see, if I go to the game, Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to go see Ben Roethlisberger and AB. If y'all don't get it done, I don't want to hear about well, the kicker didn't make the field goal and this such and such guy off the bench didn't make a tackle. No, you guys came out there and did nothing. So that's the whole thing. And then my last point I wanted to say, so we talked about with Kyrie and his struggles, or not Kyrie, but KD, and Kyrie has struggled too. But looking at it as a spiritual aspect, I think I kind of see a correlation, is what we said too, is like spiritually, man, when you can have your spiritual highs where you're in church, Bible study, you're reading, you're praying, and you're just on that high, man. And God is really working through you. You got that confidence. You ready to share your testimony, share your faith with those, regardless if it's at your work, your neighbor, whoever it is. And then we have those times where we're not doing what we're supposed to do, and we're not prepared, as Rico stated. And we start to struggle. And it's funny how we start to question, we start to second guess. Am I saved? Is God hearing my prayers? Should I be praying? Should I be doing this? What should I be changing? You're overthinking things instead of going back to God and saying, okay, I need help. And just like Kevin Durant in this situation, stop overthinking God and go hoop. Go out and be aggressive. You know what I mean? So, and to my one point, I do want to say this. There's never been a time on a football field where I thought somebody was better than me. But on the track, where it's black and white, where it's black and white on the track, there's been guys who've been faster. I've been like, yeah, there's not. I'm not running with him today. He's a different speed. But at football, I never felt that way. But what's your thoughts on that? About that, y'all thoughts on? We'll start with you, Chris, on spiritually. When you got it going versus when you've had some rough spots, or went through a temptation that got you, or you just haven't been on your game spiritually.
For me, I think we all get into those dips where we're not doing everything we're supposed to do, and I think the thing that's helped me out a lot is people around me can see that. Lloyd, you, my wife Sam, like they see that I'm not the same kind of person, or that I'm not doing exactly what I'm supposed to, and they hold me accountable, and I think that helps me get back into it. But having those people around you that definitely know who you are and know what you're like when you're in the Word and when you're spiritually right, and having them speak up to you and not be afraid to speak up to you and say, hey, something's not wrong. Are you not doing what you're supposed to? That kind of stuff. I think that's something that's always helped me is, we all get led astray sometimes, but having somebody who's close enough and comfortable enough to bring us back in.
Amen. What about you, Rico?
Yeah, I think there's a part of which is not underestimating just the battle. It's a spiritual battle, and knowing that you can't take days off. You can't every day. You need to be soaked in the word. Meditate. Joshua 1 says meditate on the word day and night. So you need to remember that. And like I said, in this form of battle, which is just sports, nothing compared to spiritual battle, that's the example of just taking some days off or taking a mindset off more so the day off. You may have put all the work in, but your mindset is thinking that you'll be all right. I'll be fine. This will be pretty easy. I don't need necessarily God. I don't need that full 100% participation of all mind, body, and spirit. So I think that's where you can find yourself in the hands of the devil, to be honest, in whatever ways it can be. Any vices you may have, whether it's performance. I think that can kind of go off all courses of life. Like I said, this is a prime example of sports and then versus the spiritual battle. So
yeah, I agree with you guys. I think like Chris's point, having that, and I think to kind of correlate, we see Steve Nash. I don't. From a basketball mindset, it doesn't seem like he may be the best coach for that situation, and he may not, or there may not be teammates to be able to sit there and say, "Hey, look, man, you struggling all throughout the year." It could have been, "Hey, you need to be working hard. You need to be doing this." I don't know. He may be doing that, but when you don't have that accountability, you can take things for granted. You can, them young dudes, they got some accountability because they hungry. They want their next. They want the spot on the top 5 total poll. They want that ring. I mean, KD and Kyrie already got one. So you got that. You have that issue as well. But I think spiritually, so you need those people to keep you accountable. And then, as Rico said, like you got to meditate spiritually day and night, man. You got to be in the Word, and that's something that, as we know, the devil is good at doing, and it's not really the devil; it's us. We're good at making ourselves busy. We're good at falling into things that aren't of God. So I wouldn't say that, but I was not like we don't understand, like you could be doing things and it's not necessarily like a sin, but you're not putting that time towards God. So you're just in idle time. And so I think that is, which can be a sin because you're not, doing the things of God. And so there's times where you could just be busy. We all work and got different things going on, and we're not necessarily etching out that time and spending it with God. So when the temptations do come, or certain issues, not even temptation, but just a walk of life where, like we said, you're just kind of in that valley. And it's like, how do I get out of it? You're going to need the word of God. You're going to need that spiritual fruit. You're going to need to put on that full armor of God to be able to walk. So I know even myself, there's those times where like I start to question my faith. I start to question myself. And really all I need to do is just go back and say, look, let me get back on my knees and be praying. Let me get back to and ask God for, repentance. And then let me go back and ask God for his wisdom and his help through this walk. And so that generally helps me. But it's difficult because when you're in those rough spots, it's tough to go and ask for help. It's tough to go as men, you know what I mean? It's tough to go and ask for help. Do you guys feel that way as well at times?
I don't think, I feel like I ask for help, but I think I just think that I can do it. I don't think don't want to ask for help. I just want to be like, maybe I did it, like, or I got it and feel that, accomplishment myself or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but just feel like that I can do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't ask. Yeah.
What about you, Rico?
Yeah, I would say, the main thing is just the absence of thinking that you need help. You just sometimes maybe don't even think you need help when you do. I think that's sometimes it's just kind of going on about your business. Especially if you're a person that's more of an introvert, or more of a just keep to yourself, kind of doing your routine, and like may coming down to you forgetting, like, you gonna need some help. You're gonna need some outsiders. You're gonna need some accountability. You're gonna need some church members to walk with you on a specific topic. And sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. But that's why the Lord says, to keep the fellowship, don't forsake the fellowship of the brethren, because a lot of times, because again, it's better to fall with one other person than fall by yourself. You know what I mean? So, I think that's what sometimes just lack of even thinking is you anybody's around.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that scripture came to my mind is, God said, "In our weakness, He is strong." And a lot of times, in our weakness, whether it's a struggle in our personal life, a struggle in our spiritual walk, it's tough to say I'm not doing well. You know what I mean? Because we see that as weakness, and it says is, man, they caught me loafing. You know what I mean? And we don't want to be seen as that, so it's like, well, I'm gonna just hide it and keep it to myself. Same thing with KD right now. He's gonna have to, if they get swept, he's gonna have to do some soul searching and have to take that heat for the next couple months. And I'm sure that's gonna have him in the gym at a different hunger because it's setting back. And that's the same way spiritually is when we're been in that tough situation, it's sometimes you need that wake up call to say, I need to get hungry and I need to rely on Christ. You know what I mean? I need to put my burdens on him so that he can, carry me through this. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for, counsel. Like Rico said, the scripture clearly says it's better to have two than one, because if one falls in the hole with nobody to help him, who's going to help him out? You know what I mean? If one's out in the cold, he got to sleep out in the cold, who's going to, give him any cover? Or they can't cuddle or anything, but if there's two, they can at least keep each other warm. If there's two, I can at least, hey, I can help you out or go get some help. So it's always good to have that spiritual help, guidance, that fellowship, making sure that you're in a good church, a part of a good team, a good discipleship. I think that's something that we'll talk about here soon, because I think that's very important. We all have the ability to do it. As coaches, we're kind of mini disciples. Not we may not think of it as a spiritual level, but that's important as well, man, is making sure you're discipled by someone that wants the best for you and somebody that can keep you accountable. So that was a good talk, man. I'm glad that we went through that. Is there any other sports things that stuck out? I know basketball wise, we got the Bucks. Rico talked about him. They're up 3-1 like Jonas. That hasn't been much of a series. Been watching the Grizzlies and Timberwolves. That's been a very good series, man. The Timberwolves, man. I actually like them, man. They got some good talent, and also I like New Orleans, man. If they get Zion back healthy, because Brandon Ingram and now
he's a problem.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice, man. It's really in the hoops. It's a young league, man. These young boys they running, they long, they can play defense. 6'8", they ain't goofy. They can do it all, man. They can do it all. So it's definitely a different league right before us. Ja Morant looks good. It's been interesting to see the Warriors. They're up 3-1. It's cool to see kind of they're not old, but they was kind of the young fun team, and now they're getting a little old with Curry and Draymond and all them, but they still look good, man. And they got that young boy Jordan Poole. He got a bag. He got a bag from Macy's, man. Polos, everything in that bag.
You got that baby Birkin.
He got everything in that bag. Chris, I know you wanted to talk about the Gypsy King, man. What was your thoughts on him getting his big knockout and also possibly thinking about return?
Well, it was right after the fight. He took Ngannou, had like an interview with him and said that's his next fight. So I think the retirement's already done. But I ever since you and I saw that one UFC fight, I kind of got into it a little more. I mean, he was honestly, it wasn't really too much of a fight. It wasn't a contest really at all. I think he knocked him out in the 6th round. So it was It was good. It was just not as fun as his last couple.
Yeah, I mean, with him and Deontay Wilder, them was some good fights. Even though I felt like he dominated the last two, they still were good fights. I mean, he did get knocked down a couple times in that third fight, but I love Mitch martial arts sports and combat sports. I know Rico, he's on that train as well, man. You said you watched a little UFC last night?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I missed the main card though, which I don't know why, but I saw a little bit of it. I saw a couple girls fight. That wasn't really a great fight, but there was UFC is a different UFC has a very, very exciting sport to watch, man. That's kind of my new go-to. I just don't really know the schedules as much, so I need to kind of put that on my log to know when they fight, when they're fighting, so I can catch more. But yeah, man, that's some good stuff out there.
Yeah, I love what the thing I like about, and that's I know Tyson Fury is a boxer. And I used to love boxing. My dad, he loved boxing. He had all Muhammad Ali and all that stuff. So I've always liked combat sports, but man, I've really come to like UFC. Me and Chris, we watch UFC a lot. Buy the pay-per-views. I probably gave UFC about $300 in the last year buying them pay-per-views. But spiritually, as a Christian podcast, I don't know how the UFC stacks up with if it's biblical, but I love the attitude, the mindset, and just the competition. Like, we're going in that cage and one man's coming out or one girl's coming out. I love their work ethic. I just like it. Like, it's just mano y mano. Like, that's what we need more of, man. Just let's go after it. And no excuse. Yeah, I mean, you get your butt whooped, you get your butt whooped. All right, pick it up. Let's get back up and run it back again. You know what I mean? That's what I like about that sport. Because now you got all these just divas. It's somebody else's fault. It's this, it's that. The fans don't like me. Kind of last week, Kyrie was going back and forth with the fans. And I will say this. I don't know if y'all seen this. Kyrie gave the middle finger 2 times to the Boston Celtics fan. Now, he was getting in his bag that game and has disappeared since. But I will say this. He should not have done that. But I actually kind of like just that get back. Like, hey, y'all want to come at me? I'm going to come at y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I think fans do get out of line with the things that they say. I mean, I think the athletes are a little, are not as calloused as the athletes before. But I think, if you want to go at me, hey, I'm a bum, you a bum. You know what I mean? Y'all team's a bum. I'm getting my buckets right now. I don't think he should have said, done that. But I think he did it in a manner that was fun. You know what I mean? This is entertainment. People want to make it like it's a big deal when y'all got all these commercials showing, advertising sex, alcohol, and all the whole nine. So
right,
tell me one finger is a whole big deal in the sports realm, or you say, oh, well, there's kids at the game. Well, y'all playing music and
the cheerleader,
yeah, there's a whole bunch of things.
Yeah. Middle finger.
I mean, also, like, I know basketball is a different animal because they're right there. But I went to a couple high school games this week, and parents were just as bad, yelling at the ref and yelling at the coaches. You this, you that. You don't know the play. Like, they were just as bad.
Especially, and we got to understand too, is all these athletes are Christians, so that they're going to act accordingly. You know what I mean? They're not going to act with grace. I mean, even if if you're a Christian, man, I mean, you don't want to be at a game or at work getting heckled. Oh, you're a bum. He was saying that they was calling him some wild stuff, P word, mother effer, you're a B, this and that. So at some point as a man, you're gonna rise up and say something back, or get a little, what's up then? You know what I mean? But I think they do need to. We need to instill that with the fans that, hey man, y'all, it's 2022, man. Y'all got to be able to trash talk, but do it respectfully. You know what I mean? Because they worried about everybody else's feelings in all these other categories. But you can go to a game and just say anything. Now, like the Westbrook situation, he was crying because they was calling him Westbrook. I love it.
Yeah.
Call me, you know what I mean? But if it's like a B, this and that, something out of my name, this, derogatory, this and that, then that's where it does overcross the line. And I think they need to do something about that.
I think we live in a world that's so crazy because if I'm the fan and I call Kyrie a name and it's on my video, now I got thousands of views on my TikTok or whatever. and people are trying to get that instead of being in the game. I mean, just another thing that happened this week was Mike Tyson on the airplane. Dude trying to take pictures of him, call him in the name, and all this kind of stuff. Man, that's the last person I want to try to make mad, and he did. So, I think we as a society have gotten so phone focused, and so it's about how many followers and likes I get, and we're willing to risk a whole lot for likes and follows.
I don't know what dude was on, but he was all happy, trying to talk. You know what I mean? He had his man recording, and then Mike Tyson went upside his head a couple of times because he's getting disrespectful. Y'all see his face? I gotta pull it up. Rico, you could go while I go look for this picture, man. That was funny.
No, I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's just funny to me, like you said, people want to complain about, oh, okay, well, yeah, these people are cursing and stuff like that, and you shouldn't be cursing back. It's like, well, these fans are doing the same thing. Like, if you're not going to care about the fan, don't care about nothing at all. It's a sport. If you bring your kids, know what's going on. The cheerleaders are going to be driving it like it's hot. The music is going to be crazy, talking about shooting the club up. It's going to be crazy. So just get used to it. Yeah, that dude's a dodo bird.
It started out like this and it ended like this. I mean, at least this guy, this is a great one. At least he's got a. It seemed like he's still joking. So yeah, that would be because that face right there just says it all. That was pretty funny, man. Whoever he is, man. Hopefully you learned your lesson, man. Stay out of. Stop playing with grown men, man, out in public.
Stay out of grown folk business.
Especially, I mean, everywhere Mike Tyson goes now, he's like high or something like that. So he's not right. Like don't mess with that man.
Yeah, he probably was. I mean, he seemed like he's a chill dude, man. Like he ain't trying to hurt nobody. But there again, man, stupid game gets stupid rewards. You know what I mean? 100%. So, well, great so far, man. Last thing I wanted to talk about was at FCA, we talked about a thing, and I just kind of want to leave this with you guys. It's something you guys that are watching or listening, you can think about this as well. It talks about using your gifts. All right. In Matthew 25:29, it says, "For to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have more than enough. But for the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him." And so to kind of put that in the context is there's people that are given a lot. They're giving good gifts. They're giving a good home life. They're giving certain things. And what they're giving, if they make the most of it, it continues. It continues. And you got some people that even a little bit they had, they make excuses. They don't want to do anything. They don't put their talents to work. And God basically saying, I'm going to take that. Even a little bit that I gave you, I'm going to take that because you don't use your gifts. And so I think for me, man, that's been one thing that I've been trying to work on is learning what my gifts are in the natural and in the spiritual, and making the most of them. Like, and I think coaching is one of my gifts. It's one of the things that I love to do, and relating to people and to the students. And so I want to make the most of that. And there's been times where I haven't put all my energy and, done everything that I can to be the best coach. And, it's almost like the thing is if you don't use it, you lose it. And so what is your guys' thoughts on that verse and about using your gifts to the maximum to obviously glorify God, but also as you work and help others?
I mean, one way that I kind of hold myself accountable a little bit is after my quiet times and stuff in the morning, my prayer is always, God, please, every opportunity is given from you. And I want to place people in my life that you want me to lead closer to you and put you on a path that, you have. So that, and every person I start to talk to, I feel like is an answered prayer. And maybe that's just for me to get my mindset right and treat everybody right. But I just, I have those prayers and those things that I do daily so that I make sure that, if I feel like somebody's an answered prayer, then it's disrespectful to God to mess it up. So I try to put myself in a whole new thing and make sure I don't let him down, if that's the right way to say it.
Thank you, Coach of the Year.
Oh man. No, that's good stuff though, Chris. I would say that's definitely something that you have to think about when you talk about gifts. I think you have to think about what your gifts are, what your talents are, and use it daily. You know what I mean? So some people, even with this platform right now with YouTube, there's so many different ways to actually use your gifts and talents, whether it's with your voice or whether it's standing up for people that don't have a voice, whether it's coaching a kid that doesn't have a dad who can help, who you can help him grow to be a man. I guess so many different gifts and talents that we have that go underutilized, to be honest. So that's one thing that God recently showed me, like try to use all your gifts and talents for the Lord's work and not other people's work. Having a plan of that and what that looks like, whether it's which sport should you play that, guys maybe gifted you better in. How about you use your wisdom? Hopefully you have some oversight from your parents to say, hey, I mean, if you've been stuck into soccer for the past 6-8 years and you're a dog at basketball, a dog at baseball, play baseball. If you love both sports, don't just continue to try to do something that maybe God has not gifted you in that area, and that's okay. You don't have to be great at everything. You don't have to be a triathlon athlete. You don't have to be that. You could be great at soccer, you know what I mean, or great at football, great at basketball, or it doesn't matter. So I think that's one thing. You gotta know yourself.
Yeah. The reason why I brought this up is, and I'll share the link. So if anybody wants to, if you go on FCA resources, they have devotions, and you guys can check out the full thing. And it basically overviews, tells us how God gives us gifts, and so everything that we do, God has given us that gift. So whether it's baseball, football, whether it's drawing, artistic, whether you're a great reader, God gave you that gift. And it's basically saying is be thankful and make sure you use that gift to the maximum, because there's some people that don't have an arm or hands to be able to draw. And somehow you got people that don't have that, and they'll get their feet and know how to draw. You know what I mean? You got, as it says here, a guy in a wheelchair did a marathon in like 2 hours, I believe. So that's crazy. You know what I mean? That person used the gift that he had, worked hard, and was able to do that. So that's one thing. But I shared that with my athletes, because I, as a coach, and I know you guys see this as well, especially you, Chris, I see so many people, man, and we've all been in that athletic space, been through college, been through school, and so we know like the importance of hard work. And man, if I would have worked hard, this may have been a different outcome. And some of us have worked hard and grinded to a level where we didn't even think we could get to, and it was all just on hard work. And so that's my number one thing in school, is just like, especially football team, weightlifting and that, like, let's work hard, like go after it. And I just see so many kids with great talent want to put in no work. And it's like, at least come in and go through the motions. Just give me something, like give me 50%, 60%. And I got kids that are really athletic, man, and great. And they don't even want to give the, hey, I'm here. Do the rest, coach. Mold me, shape me, help me. It's like, we didn't even get to the point where, all right, you here now. Now I need you to give me 100. It's like, it's tough getting some people to even just show up. And it's like, man, you're so talented. When you understand this, you're going to be hitting yourself like, man, if I would have just did X, Y, and Z, I could have done this. I could have provided myself a free scholarship because I'm that athletic. And so we got a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
And I know you guys see it. That's just so tough for me to watch.
No, I'm right there with you. It's hard to watch the ones that are, have the potential and can be spectacular. And I think, my quote is always, you can't you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But as a coach, my job is to salt the oats and make the horse run so that you want to be thirsty.
I like that.
So like, So I'm always like, I never want to give up on a kid or someone who's talented, and I try to find a different way to spin some form of psychological thing or something so that they want to do a little more. Man, I can think of 2 kids that I can name right off the top of my head that I have put way more effort than I should have had into, just because other people deserve my attention to, that they just won't, they don't want to get it. And there's different situations. One of them doesn't come from the best home life, and that kind of stuff. But it's definitely, man, they're the ones that keep you up at night, because it's like, all right, how do I get this kid back on the right track? How do I do it? And I think the best way is prayer, because God's the one who gives you the answers on how to help him. But that's it's always that that struggle, because it's a coach. You want them to realize that potential, and I think you and I, Lloyd, both do a good job of, if I see your potential, you ain't gonna not reach it because I don't tell you it's there. Like, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna tell you it's there, and if you don't want it, then okay, but it won't be because I didn't tell you.
Well, thank you for that insight, man, because I think maybe that's something I need to be praying, is help my athletes, help such and such understand what their talents are, and pray for them that they go after it. You know what I mean? And that I think I could do that more. I think that's important. Rico, you had anything?
None too much, man. I think one thing you can do, though, as a coach, I don't coach. That's just not necessarily one of my gifts, I would say. I don't mind coaching my kids, but I don't really. I feel like I find it very hard to coach someone that's not your child, because it's only so far you can go. Me personally, you know what I mean? You only can push a kid so much, where the parents got to get involved, to just do some pushing. But that's why I say kudos to all the coaches out there, because, man, you do a hard work, and it's not easy coaching, man. That's probably one of the hardest things to do. But I will say, as a coach, though, what helped me as a kid playing, and as period point blank, when the coach shows you that they believe in you, and I mean saying it, so like actually telling the player what you think they can do and what it's going to take to get to what you think they can do. And that if they don't do what you think they need to do to get to where they want to be and get what you think they can be, then it's not going to work. So, for instance, you got a guy on the team who's a dog. He doesn't want to play a certain position. Hey, I believe in you. I know you can be great at this position and make it to whatever you want to do in life. It's going to take you to do this, though. Work with me every single day. Grind with me. And that's how you're going to get there. But I do believe you're going to get there, but you're not going to get there if you don't do this. So put it in, like, really, because sometimes I think even as teenagers, we don't really put all the pieces together. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes you'll feel like people hating on you. A lot of those kids, they get in their own heads. They get a coach hating on them and whatever it is. Oh, man, he ain't trying to rock with me. He don't believe in me. Sometimes sometimes they never heard nobody believe in them. So they thinking everybody's against them. So let them know, like, hey, I'm for y'all. I think you can be great, but this is what's going to take to be great. So I would say do that.
Amen. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I've been telling kids, if you guys are listening, I said, I'm going to give y'all a free game. You need 300 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, 200 air squats. And if you got
that Herschel Walker workout, Herschel Walker,
or 15 minutes. I told a kid today, he's a running back. I said, how many yards you want? He said, I want 1,500. I said, give me 1,500. 1,500 is 1 mile a day. I need you to run that every day. Just
listen. Let me tell you what I did. I said I want to have 1,000 yards. I said I want to have 1,000 yards in high school. 1,200, I think. 1,200 receiving yards in high school. I said after every workout, I'm gonna run 12 100-yard sprints, because that's 1,200 yards. If I do the math right, I wasn't amazing at math, but that's 1,200. That's 1,200 yards. So I said, if I want to do this, I gotta know what it feels like to run 1,200 yards, because I'm gonna be doing this after every single workout to remind myself I want 1,200 yards is my goal. So yeah, that's a great, like, hey man, let's get it done. You want 1,500 yards? You never ran 1,500 yards in a workout. You ain't gonna run that in a year. You trash. Sometimes you gotta keep it real with a kid. Sometimes you gotta love the kid. So that's my take. That's my take, man.
Yeah. And so I tell them that, man. And hey, what you do with it, if you want it, you're gonna go after it. You know what I mean? And so for me, that's the one thing that I'm always trying to tell the kids, hey, look, I'm here for you. I want the best for you. But as you said, man, it's tough because you got to somehow make it a reality as their coach, as the person they see for 1, 2, 3 hours, a day or sometimes out of the week. How can I bridge that gap? Because I don't, everybody. If a kid's good, like I had a conversation with one kid, he was really good, and I told him straight up. I said, right now you're a good athlete, so everybody's knocking at your door because they want you to do something. But once you're no longer available, that's going to stop. But like I told him, I said, I want you for track. Yeah, you're fast. You're going to help us out. That's why you're sitting here right now. But I also want to see you do well. So you got to – track's going to help you do that because it's going to help you, get your schoolwork and all that things because you're going to have to be organized to be able to run. So, like, I kept it real with him. Like, hey, you had a setback, but now what are we going to do with that setback? Are we just going to sit here and this is what I said, you just going to piss down your leg and let everything that you worked for go down the drain? Or everything that you want is still right here and where it's at. And you still got people because you're a good athlete that want to help you. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. That's what, you know what I mean? Because some people don't have that. And like I said, if you want it, go after it and go get it. Stop pissing down your leg and go fight for it. If not, keep doing what you've been doing. And he's back on the team. Ran 23-0 yesterday. So I'm excited.
That's what's up.
Yesterday
man.
Was a great day, man. Great day.
Up, man. That's what's up, man. That's a testimony for sure. Somebody that guy might not have no man telling him, "Hey, I believe in you," but I still gotta be tough with you. You know what I mean? Because his life ain't easy.
Yeah. So, great stuff today, fellas. I thought this was good, man. Hopefully the listeners out there liked it. Remember to go check us out at the Holy Huddle on YouTube, man. We got some good content. We are going to have a great interview. We're going to be pushing that like crazy, man, over the next couple of weeks. I think everybody needs to hear what Derek Gaskell had to say. He did a little bit of pitching in the majors and minors, but he had some great stuff, man, about your mind, your heart, and he's a disciple as a baseball coach. It's awesome what he's doing, man. He's letting people know straight up that what his plan is and his goal is, and I love what he's doing. Hopefully getting back on here. Hopefully we can link him up with Rico as well because he was a good interview. So make sure you guys go check that out. And stay blessed, man. We'll be praying for you guys. If you guys know any of our Facebook and things like that, reach out, man, or in the comment section if there's anything you need prayer for. We'd love to pray for you. And then also if any athletes or coaches that would love to hop on, man, and share some game, share how they, sow into other young men, young women's lives. Come on here, man. We'd love to talk with you. And then also athletes as well. We would love to have you guys on and talk about how you walk your Christian faith, man, because there's a lot of us out there. It's funny at FCA. There's a lot of kids. You do FCA? I want to join. You're a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian. They're really not acting like it yet. But we'd love to have them. And then last thing before we hop off here, you guys don't have to answer this. Maybe we'll answer it next time. Are we using is God? And this is a question really for me. Does God look at me and say, man, that guy right there, if he used his talents, man, he would be doing so much. Is God chasing me down? Is he running me down like, yo? So that's just food for thought, man. Love y'all. Y'all ask yourself the same question, and we'll see y'all on the next episode of Holy Huddle. Peace.